Jose to the Why We Move podcast. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Ricardo, your host. Again, thank you guys for tuning back in. Today, we're going to go into a very special episode introducing my friend Jose here. Excited to share your story y para ver de qué platicamos aquí ahorita.
Well, thank you for having me. This sounds interesting.
All right.
Excited to do it.
All right. So so we all know, this is a new Liquid Death. This is a can that we presented here on the show. It's just water, so it's not alcohol.
He's lying though, but it's good.
It's Mexican water.
It's Mexican water.
Tequila.
And you know what I mean when I say Mexican water.
Let's go ahead and get started, man. I think people here in the Portland community know you to be an awesome dancer. Alguien que, is very confident in his steps. Somebody who really enjoys connecting with people and really is out there haciendo todo lo que sea para, to make your follow comfortable and even the people who you hang around with very comfortable. So maybe just share with me, ¿cómo empezaste? How'd you start your Latin dance journey? And, all the good, bad, and the ugly with it.
Well, everything goes back to 2010.
Okay.
So I went out with some friends to celebrate my birthday. That was February, I remember. Someplace in West Covina, California. And I was just clubbing, hip hop, trance music, club, whatever you call that kind of music. So this place has 2 rooms though. They have hip hop room and they have a Latin, well, they used to, I don't know if they're still on business. They used to have a Latin mix room where they will play bachata, salsa, merengue, all that kind of Spanish music, right? So after a couple of drinks, I decided to go to the restroom, and the restroom was on that Latin side of the club. And I saw this guy dancing with 2 girls salsa, but with 2 at the same time. I was like, you quiero aprender eso? Damn. Yeah. But I mean, regardless of the freaking moves or whatever they were doing, is that connection, the faces, how they were enjoying the moment. And it makes me, till today though, I still get chills though, because that's what actually got me how can I get to that level, to enjoy that? Because I used to dance rock en español. Yeah, exactly. Or hip hop. You just move and you're not really dancing. You're just vibing, right? And you're dancing with someone, but you're in front of that people and you just moving. You can do it in a group. There's not really connection. It's I don't know how to explain it, but it's not the same. So when I saw that, I was I want to be part of that. And I was staring at them. I was looking at them. And actually, one of the ladies got mad because, I don't know, probably she thought I was a creep or something. Oh. So the guy was coming at me kind of mad. And before Keith could say anything, I was like, hey, bro, ¿cómo le haces? Wow, that way you're dancing, mi respeto, that's really good. What do you learn? And he kind of changed a little bit. And he's oh, well, I've been dancing all my life, since I used to live in Honduras. I think he told me Honduras. House parties and just growing up dancing salsa, merengue and all that. And I don't know, that's the way we dance. So you never took classes or anything to learn? No. I was been dancing all my life. I was like, oh, shoot. So I got that idea and I wanted to learn. But 2010, there was no bachata. There was salsa, but I wasn't familiar with the scene. So I was like, how do I learn that? So I went home with the idea that I wanted to learn. And the next day I was in the internet researching salsa classes because I saw them dancing salsa. For me, I was I want to learn salsa. And I was looking on the internet and some links brought me to Craigslist. And on Craigslist, there was this guy, Omar Munoz. I mean, he's going to be watching the video, though. He was actually the one taught me my first salsa steps on one.
Nice.
So I started taking classes on Wednesdays. I asked some other friends that she knew someone that could take the classes for me because I wanted to take a class and no follow-ups. It was just me. I'm like, oh, shoot. So I invited someone to go with me to the classes. And there was one class every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m., I believe. I learned a little bit. I took 1-to-1 classes and I learned my basic on one. But right after the class, because I didn't know anything about it, I would go dance rock en español. What? It wouldn't make sense. Yeah. So Facebook was kind of new. Like it was probably, I got my account 2009, 2008, I don't remember. So I don't know, you remember you were in that part of Facebook where you will get a friend request, or that will be like awesome. Even if you don't know the person, you will add them because, getting a friend request, right? Somebody wants to get to know you better or something. So I started adding people out of nowhere. Like, I don't remember exactly how I started like looking for salsa dancers, but I started adding a lot of people. And my idea was like, I'm gonna add them and then I'm gonna ask them, where do they go dance? Because I want to dance, right? I had no idea. I used to live in Orange County, which is like an hour south from LA.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about dancing. There was a lot of Mexican music, corridos and all that kind of stuff. And I never been part of that stuff. I respect that, but it's not for me. So I wanted to learn. And I started adding people. And on all that people that I added Mike Zuniga. He runs a team in Orange County, in Santa Ana, California. The name of the team is Rhythmic Fusion. I don't know. You heard about it?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
At the time that I started dancing, there were only, I believe there were only, I might be wrong though, but used to be 3 bachata teams in LA. It was Paso de Oro with Alejandro Rey, Bachata Caliente with Jorge Contreras and Leslie, and Rhythmic Fusion with Mike Zuniga. Only 3 bachata teams. So I added this guy, and all of a sudden, probably like 2-3 weeks later, he sent me an invite to Audiciones de Bachata. The hell is that? Yeah. Bachata was like, okay, let me Google this. And when I was researching bachata, what I actually got was the music. Like, okay, Juan Luis Guerra,
like
all the kind, yeah,
Romeo Santos,
Romeo, exactly, but use the music,
sí,
you know.
Sí, yeah.
And I was like, okay. I mean, if it's part of the salsa, for me, that was part of salsa. Man. Okay. So I didn't want it to go along. So I go talk to one of my coworkers that we were friends, so we used to go dance clubbing. And I told him, like, hey, go with me though. Because there's auditions, bachata audition. What the hell is that? I don't know. Let's go. So we went and he did like a little choreo that you needed to follow. That went horrible, man. Like I had no idea what I did. It was, I don't even know. After the auditions though, he told us that he was gonna call us to see if we were gonna make the team or not. But I think he just wanted to actually have the chance to share his knowledge about bachata. He just was excited to have a team. And he wanted to have like a student team. So that's why I think he called me though, because there's no way I didn't. To be honest, like I don't think I did anything right that night. So after a week, he called me like, hey, you made the team. You want to be part of the student? I'm like, oh, really? I made it. Oh, damn. So he was playing all the stuff that if I wanted to be part of the team, that he was actually gonna teach us how to do start dancing bachata from zero, because we didn't know anything about bachata. Fundamentals and all the stuff, and used to be part of the team. I believe he used to charge like $80 a month. I was like, I don't know if I want to be part of that thing. So I told my friend the same one, let's do it. Antonio, though, you know him.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding. You went with Antonio?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was my coworker.
Oh, okay.
So it was me actually. And he was like, no, because he used to like all the kind of music, like Mexican music and all the stuff, and rock en español also. And we will go dance. And he was like, literally, I dragged him because he didn't want it to go. So we went, we decided to be part of the team. We were training. Here's the thing. We used to practice with Mike on Wednesdays and Sundays. We were like an hour south from LA. Once I started knowing people, I knew that Steven Steakhouse was the only place that would play bachata at the time. Nobody else was Steven Steakhouse on Wednesdays. But we will practice from 9 to 11, 11:30. And at the time we were done, in order to drive like an hour north to go dance for like 20 minutes, spend gas for just 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes the most, it wouldn't be worth it. So we didn't really dance. So we kind of like trained almost a year without social dancing.
Wow.
So this guy might taught me how to do my basic frame, no crazy hands. and all that kind of stuff. The fundamentals though that I have is my Zuniga. Later on in the road with the bachata, in Newport Beach, California, they started doing Sundays in a place called Tapas. Is not there anymore. They're gone for like 6-7 years now. They used to do like a mix, like salsa bachata night, but they would play a lot of salsa. And I actually started liking bachata because bachata is simple. It's way easier than salsa. We all know that. And I don't know, that for me, I think the connection that you get with a person dancing salsa and bachata is different.
It is. I think I agree with that.
You actually share more. And my way of thinking is you share more dancing bachata than salsa, because salsa is like super fast and you're moving all this. And bachata, you actually look at her, kind of smile, do this. Okay, I don't know. It's weird to explain, but for me, it's better. So I started liking bachata and I wanted to go dance bachata. And yeah, that's the way how I started dancing.
It's crazy. So the rest is history. You just like, so you're now in Portland, by the way. We're like in Portland, Oregon. But so maybe what was the bridge from you dancing in LA to now coming here in Portland? I already know you from on a personal level of like what brought you to Portland, but was there maybe some trouble with you coming to Portland and dancing, or what was that like for you?
To be honest, I was kind of like used all my life in LA. I actually, till the month before I left LA, I was on a bachata team. I actually did Rhythmic Fusion. Then I did Que Rico Dance Company with Jorge Contreras and Dimitri Rosario, which is the DJ at Steven's Steakhouse right now. And then
that's DJ So Nasty, right?
So Nasty, yeah. Exactly. And then from there, I went to dance with Silva Tatoshin and Isaac De Otero and a team that all the dancers used to dance at Que Rico, but they got out and they kind of like, we made another team. And it was called Envision Dance Company. And that was my last team before leaving LA. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of easy for me because I knew people. And when you're on a team and you go dance, you go with a group of people. Mm-hmm. Make sense? And it's easier to connect with other people because if they see you in a group, people just approach you out of nowhere and they want to be part of that, It's way easier than if you go by yourself and start like going to a community that you don't know. Probably along the road, though, you're going to be meeting people, but at the beginning, it's hard if you go by yourself. Mm-hmm. But if you go with a lot of people, it's different, though, because even though if the rest of the people don't like you, you don't care because you have your people and you're going to be dancing with them, right? So when I moved to Portland, and actually I was working for like a year, and I didn't dance for like a year. And then when I started going out, 2018, I believe I started dancing in Portland and went out by myself. It was really different though. Like the vibe, I don't know. I think it applies to everything when you go to a new place and it's not that they don't like you, but they not trust you. Make sense? Like who this guy is and what his intentions are and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It was definitely different. The level was different as well. Bachata in Portland, I think it's been getting better, but at the time, I think it was baby bachata. Like, yeah. Because some of my friends will come and visit and, oh yeah, let's go dance. And I was like, yeah, let's go dance, but don't expect too much. Because, you're going to be disappointed, right? I think it was kind of like starting the bachata. Like you say, probably because I was a little bit more advanced than most people. That's how people started approaching me like, oh, the first question, do you teach? Like, no, I barely dance. So I don't teach. Because that's what people think, that if you dance, they assume that you can teach. And no, it's not like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be able to dance, like probably really good, but suck at teaching. There's no way you can be. There's people that can do both, though, but that's not me, for sure. So a lot of people at the beginning will approach me and ask me if I would teach bachata. I would say, no, I'm sorry, I just dance. And probably that's how, mostly ladies, though, because I used to dance with them, they would approach me and I started making friends. And from there, I started dancing for like a year. After a year and a half dancing, I got invited with Lines to be part of they had a pro team that used to compete. That weekend that they used to go to Vegas, I think they had a contract. I don't know how that works. But the team that used to compete, they needed to go somewhere in Canada, Ontario, Toronto, I don't know. But that was the same week that they're supposed to be at Vegas for competition. So they invited me to be part of the bachata team. They told me literally like 3 weeks before the competition.
Oh, wow.
If I wanted to be part of that, I'm like, I've been part of teams, but I learned routines in 3-4 months, not 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to jam pack.
And I agree with them. I went to do it. I'm glad I did, but it's something that I won't do it again. Like, it was the way they train is intense.
Yeah.
And since we had only 3 weeks to compete, we were training like 6, 5, 7 hours a day. Like every day we needed to. We didn't have any time. And it was crazy. And I got to a point that I started hating dance. Like, if I dance, it's because I like it. It's the connection, it's the joy. When I dance, I'm like it's my alter ego. I'm another person. And if I dance because I have to, everything changes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I felt like it was more like something that I had to do, more that I wanted to do. And I just went with them. We competed. Out of like 10 teams, we got second place, 3 weeks. I think that was freaking amazing.
Jesus. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
To be honest, I didn't think that we were going to make the top 3, man. We did it, though. Wow. And the team that actually won, they were doing that routine for more than a year. And they won for like a couple points because they messed up something. I don't remember. But the thing is, we got second place. That was an amazing experience. But like I said, it's something I will never do it again, though, because if I dance, it's just because I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I did, though, because I know what it is, and I won't do it again. And yeah, that was the how actually after being on Line Dance Academy for like 3-4 months, it was like a really short time. I started meeting more people. Now the Lines people. And then, you're part of a team, and all of a sudden everybody wants to like talk to you. And hey, bro, hey, how are you? You go to the bar to try to get a drink and somebody just pays for it. Trust me, it happens. I don't know how, though. Oh, yeah, no, I got it, Molo. Thank you. And then you start meeting people. And it's really nice. And I think because I started dancing and I was a little bit better than the most, it's not because I'm really good. It's just because the bachata was literally starting in Portland. And then I started dancing with Lions and I met more people. And that's how I actually started meeting more people. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I'm here. So now I feel comfy with the community, though, with the dance community here, though.
That's awesome. Yeah. It sounds like it just built over time.
Exactly. But it's not something that happened overnight, it takes time.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you bring up. I want to touch on kind of like what you were talking about earlier to the first point of what you talked about with like the connection with bachata specifically. I think we can like broaden it out into social dance because I think social dance, you still feel connection regardless if it's salsa, bachata, kizomba, zouk, West Coast swing. There's like something that's happening, it's a language, right? Versus definitely. Like solo dancing, kind of like what you mentioned in the very beginning of like vibing to club music or, just pasando ahí, pasando allá. For you, in your opinion, what makes social dance unique compared to other ones, compared to other kinds of dance styles?
Partner dancing, right? I think it's connection. Is that you sharing what you feel, what you're doing with someone else. You know how nowadays we're afraid to do stuff. And if we do something, most of the time we just keep it to ourselves, though. We don't want to share. It's really hard to do it. For me, it's the same thing. In order to tell you something that I'm going through, I need to know you. I need to trust you like a lot. It's not something, hey, Ricardo, like, no tengo dinero para la renta, güey. Kind of like really deep stuff.
Yeah.
Make sense? Mm-hmm. Partner dancing or social dancing, you're dancing with someone that probably you don't know. You've never seen that person before. And all of a sudden, you ask her to dance, and 3-4 minutes, you do so much stuff and you're like, wow, what just happened? Right? It's like, how did that happen? Like, she's amazing. Now, it's something so unique. You can't compare with anything else because it's so much joy, passion, connection that you can share even if you don't know the other person before the dance.
Yeah.
It's that special though that it makes you share whatever you had to express through dancing with someone you don't know. That's why I think it makes it like really unique though, because nothing else. You think there's no way to share something with someone that you don't know. There's no way to share it.
Yeah, that's interesting. You say that, and I think about it like, yeah, I don't think I do anything in my life that really kind of brings out the same opportunity to connect with someone like that. That's very interesting that you say it like that.
Yeah.
So what do you enjoy most about it? I know we kind of like, you touched on like the feeling, sharing with that experience with somebody else, be it they're a stranger or not, or you've seen them on the dance floor for a little bit. But what is the thing that you most enjoy about dancing? About, it could be as broad as social dancing, it could be as broad as, or as specific as bachata or salsa. But what is the thing that you enjoy the most about the whole experience?
I believe when you're dancing, when I dance, it's kind of like we all have something going on out there. Like, I don't know, at work, with family, something going on. Nobody's perfect, you know, something is happening. And I feel like when I go into the club to dance bachata or salsa, and I just go in, kind of like I feel better just for being there, you know, watching people dance and just standing on the side. But when I actually start dancing on the dance floor, everything goes away. I don't care if I'm gonna die tomorrow. I don't care if I have rent money. I don't care if I have like gas money, you know, like everything. I don't care if anything. I don't know. Probably it's gonna be, my mom passed away in 2015 from breast cancer. And it was something that actually was really hard for me. And I think dancing helped her a lot. Because till today, when I thought about her, though, it's really hard for me. I got better over time. But people used to ask me, like, oh, how do you feel about it? And I would start crying, though. And I think the only moments that I wouldn't be sad or thinking about my mom, it's not because I was forgetting her or I don't care about her, though. But when I was actually dancing with someone, social dancing, that was the only time that I wouldn't be free of feelings. Even though I will be happy connecting with someone, but that wouldn't I wasn't sad thinking about my mom that passed away a week, 2 months ago. You know, make sense? Mm-hmm. So when I dance, I just forget about everything. And I'm just there. Nobody else exists. It's just the person in front of me, and I don't care about anything else. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about bachata dancing, mostly, and salsa a little bit, but mostly bachata. That's the way it makes me feel, though. Interesting,
very interesting. I've interviewed and I've talked to a lot of people on the dance floor, and they kind of say a similar thing. It's like a distraction. It's a scapegoat. It's an opportunity to, you know, no preocuparte por lo que está pasando, you know, in your life or at home or at work, like you're saying. And it really brings a certain energy. And I think you kind of touched on it earlier too, is like you share that with the person you're connecting to in a nonverbal way. And you begin to like foster these friendships and these relationships with people who like begin to understand you, I think a little, in my opinion, a little bit more than people who you spent probably your whole childhood with, you know. I think you gave a lot of credentials to your name. Like you've been dancing for, I think I did the math, was 13 years now? 13 years.
Not counting the pandemic, though.
Yeah.
You know?
So after dancing for 13 years, what advice would you give to perhaps beginners who are watching or listening, or people who are interested in dancing and are listening, but don't quite know how to get their footing? What is the best piece of advice or best pieces of advice that you can give to those people?
Well, first of all, guys, if you guys want to go dance bachata, don't think of it as something sexual. because most of the time you see now on Instagram, Facebook, dancing really close. Well, yeah, they're pro. They've been dancing for a while. Even I've been dancing for a long time. And if I see someone else at the club, and I start dancing with someone that I don't know, I know there's gonna be connection. There's gonna be a lot of stuff, but I wouldn't get that close because I don't know that person. It takes time, even for dancing, to build a relationship. Mm-hmm. So don't go into bachata thinking like, oh, just, quiero bailar bachata porque voy a estar cerquita de la muchacha, all that kind of stuff. Like, no, it does your thinking, you stop and don't go. Because even if you see the dancing, it might be sexual for you. One thing is sexual, another thing is sensual. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking about that you want to dance bachata because you want to be close to a girl, though, no. And girls, please, if you go dance and you have a bad experience, it doesn't mean that everybody is like that. Like, no, it's not all the time, though. There's going to be, like everything, there's going to be someone. No, como dicen el pelo en la sopa, or I don't know. There's going to be someone always trying to pray or do something. But not all of us. I would say like 80% of the people, they're just there because they just want to dance. They want to make a friendship. They want to have a good time. And guys, if you're thinking that you want to learn bachata because you're going to be like really close to the mamacita, don't do it. Like, forget about it, though. That's not for you. That's going to be my advice, though.
Yeah.
For those people.
I think, that's great advice. I think on this podcast, I've hosted a lot of people who I think I've like asked blatantly and honestly like what their thoughts on like sexual harassment in dance and just like the bad and the ugly of it. And I think it's like worth talking to, worth bringing up as many times as possible until it really goes away. But yeah, for those who are listening, I think the best advice, like you've seen it over your 13 years, like you probably have countless stories of these people, like both women, men, and anybody who identifies as whatever. Like people are out there for the wrong reasons initially, and not necessarily saying that like you can't find that, because naturally it will just occur in some situations, whether you're on the dance floor or off the dance floor, in a grocery store or whatever. Like you will find
it happens. Yeah, definitely.
But it happens naturally, and I think if you force it,
that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's the
exactly.
problem.
Yeah.
So with that, could you? You already kind of highlighted like what people might go into thinking. For those who maybe are on another note, scared to like express themselves, scared to kind of like dance and feel almost like goofy or silly on the dance floor, what's another piece of advice that you can give to those people who maybe are a little hesitant to start but really want to?
I was like I said, bachata is way easier than most dances, even than kizomba, salsa. But it doesn't. I would suggest, so if you actually want to get into dancing and have the fundamentals, take a class, a beginner class. You don't have to be 6-7 months taking classes. No, just learn your basic, learn to dance with the music, learn your frame, how you're gonna be in close position, open position. You know the basics. So that way, as a lead, I would suggest go take classes and learn the basics. As a lady, it's a little bit easier, but I also suggest if they need to go take classes. But as a lead, definitely you need to go take classes, at least the beginner classes. I don't know, a month. You're gonna know when you know your basic. From there, everything is open though. Mm-hmm. But if you start dancing and I saw that on YouTube, on Instagram, and then from there, I got it. It's easy. Yeah, bachata is easier than most dances, but it also has a technique and it has a way to do it. And it doesn't mean because it's easier, it's gonna be easier for you. So you need to learn. There's a lot of people that they will tell you, I learned just watching people dance, and I wanted to tell them, you've been watching the wrong people. Like for real, as a guy, I would suggest like you have to take classes. If you want to get into dancing, you want to go dance once a month? No. Yes. But if you want to be every week, it's mostly to protect the lady. Because it's also about spacing. It's also about checking who's dancing around you while you're dancing and not bumping into each other. It takes a lot of stuff that you need to learn. It's something that you don't learn by yourself. Make sense?
Yeah.
So all that you learn in classes, though. And that's one of the things that I see in Portland a lot. There's a lot of people that they dance, but when they're dancing, they're bumping into everyone. And sometimes, I don't know, you don't even enjoy the dance because you're protecting the girl, though, and you're pulling, and I'm sorry that I pull you, though, but he was going to step on you or something. And they're like, oh, no, but thank you. So you need to actually learn a lot of stuff in order to dance.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm guilty of that. When I first started dancing, I was one of those guys who like, I kind of highlighted this in one of my beginning episodes of like, I didn't have the money to spend on classes, and I would just go to YouTube University and Instagram and like watch. And I think aside from like, I'm not just a visual learner, I would say I'm predominantly a visual learner, but I still will need things explained to me. And there was a large portion of my dance journey where I just saw and like I messed up. And if I could go back in time, I would most likely invest in classes and actual structure versus trying to figure it out on my own and mess up. And
you know, some places you go social dancing and they offer free class.
Yeah.
So
I used to do that as well.
You're still gonna pay. Just be there 40 minutes earlier and just learn the basics.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard. You need to spend a little bit. Like I said, you don't need to be there 3-4 months. No, I will say use your basic, and from there, everything. When you have the fundamentals of something, probably doesn't make sense for a lot of people. But with you, it's like you do salsa steps on 2. That's how I learned. And you do it over and over and over and over and over. And you're like, why am I doing just the basic? This is so boring. And then all of a sudden, you're dancing and you're doing moves right here. But guess what? You're not worrying about what is going on down there.
That's all muscle memory.
Because you already know. Like you're doing it without thinking.
Right.
But if you don't know your basic, guess what? You can't do anything here because you don't know what's going on in it. And your head is all over the place, you know?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's for me, I think that's the way. And like I said, for me, it's different, though. I need to actually see something, try it, practice, and start from there, though. That's the way I learn it.
Yeah, I hear you. I think I'm, similar in a more visual way, but I think it really helps to have those basics and those fundamentals down, because without that, like you said, you can't really get anywhere. You might like be able to do some kind of fancy stuff, and sure, it might look cool if you can figure it out, but at the same time, you're probably not doing it right. You're probably hurting somebody or hurting yourself. And really, there's no technique, no frame, no nothing involved. So the best thing you can do is just really get your fundamentals down, like you said. How do you choose to connect with the music? I know you had kind of mentioned earlier, at least one main point of like finding your frame, your basics, your open position, closed position, and then finding rhythm with your music. Because a lot of what dancing is mathematical in a way, right? Like you're dancing to a beat that happens every, quarter beat, at least for bachata, and then every 3 for salsa and whatnot. But how do you choose to connect with the music in that way? How did you figure that out for you? Was it over time, repetition?
To be honest, like I said, I was just practicing, and when I see videos of me doing my basics, I will do 1, 2, 3, and that freaking thing,
the hip thing. Yeah.
The hip thing. I was like, oh shit. Why would I do that though? And I think it comes over time that you do. A lot of people ask me like, how do you know? I don't know. It happens to you like you're dancing a song that you never listened to, and all of a sudden it comes to a break on the song, and you do something with the song, and people you know the song. Like, no, I've never heard the song before.
Right.
But the thing is, one of the things helped me a lot, talking about myself, is when I was learning, I was listening bachata 24/7.
That was me too, man. I was obsessed.
I would listen to bachata at work, at the gym. Like, at some point, I was like, I think I'm going to get it. I don't listen to bachata anymore. Like, no, I'd rather be listening to salsa than bachata. But when I started dancing, I was actually wanting to train my ear. And it probably, I don't know how that happens, but you learn, bachata is the same tempo. Bachata. Because now they have remixes and all that kind of stuff. So the knife phrase, bar, and all that kind of stuff, you actually listen to bachata all the time, your brain gets it. I don't know how that happened, because I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to teach. There you go. But over time, your brain learns how to understand the music. Make sense? Mm-hmm. It's not you. It's something that you have. Because I see a lot of guys dancing, and yeah, they try to make things deep like salsa. You can learn like freaking 1,000 partner work. That's why I think it's so different. Bachata, you can do the same moves depending on the music, depending on the song. You can do this move fast. You can do it really slow. You can do it halfway. There's so many things that you can do with the same movement in a different way. Mm-hmm. Make sense? Mm-hmm. And that happens for me, like listening to bachata, and over time is something. One thing is knowing patterns, knowing your basic, and another thing is actually musicality and dancing with the music. I think that comes with time, and a lot of people, I don't know, it's so, I don't know how to explain it, but it's so simple. You're dancing, and there's a break. You don't have to dip someone like really hard. You just grab from the, from la cintura, and you go down like really slow. And ladies look at you like, what the hell is happening, you know? Because you're doing it with the music. Make sense? Yeah. And you don't have to go hard. Yeah. Like do something crazy. It's the way you move and the way you do it with the music. I've seen a lot of workshops. Sometimes when I see people teaching and they teaching a partner work and they don't care about the music. They just they work on the partner work and they put it on the 8 counts. And they do it. And it doesn't make any sense.
No, you're doing like spins on like a very like step, beat, step, tap kind of.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like movement, they're dancing on the counts and the music, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't match.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's you're connecting with your partner. That's a beautiful thing. But when you're doing musicality and dancing with the music and connecting with your partner, that girl is gonna be smiling at you the whole freaking song. Because whatever you do, it makes sense, you know? Yeah. And you don't need to know like 1,000 patterns. It's just 3-4 things. And you slow it down, you make it fast, whatever you're dancing. And they're gonna be happy though.
Yeah.
That's my way of thinking. I don't know.
I agree with you. I think I think of musicality as an opportunity to show the person you're dancing with like what you're listening to so they can listen to the same thing. For example, like we're on the topic of musicality. We're talking about perhaps like in salsa, like a trumpet, blaring, right? Or even like the clave.
Yeah.
And you like dance to the beat of the clave. Or even in bachata, you dance to the bongos or the bass or even the vocals or like the small melodies that you hear. And it's like once you start to like dance to those things, your follow picks up and is like, oh, they're dancing to that part. Oh, that's cool that they listen to that and I can hear it. And now so it's interesting that it's like there's another level of connection there with musicality too.
Yeah, because when you're doing your basic, for example, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, but the song goes like, oh, and that part you grabbed her hand and go like this, oh, and she's like, oh shit. You can also tap on that and go back.
Right.
But you actually toss the hand and go with it. And she's like, oh, he's dancing with the boys.
Right.
What the hell just happened? Yeah. And then they start looking at, so he does different kind of stuff. And like I said before, that's why I said that you need to learn the fundamentals though, because you learn all the kind of stuff over time. You have the fundamentals, right? And then also, as that way to learn it is, I know a lot of guys, I don't know, you notice, they taught themselves how to dance. They dance with a beat of the song. But this is a different topic though, but because if you talk to a Dominican person, they're going to tell you that mostly Dominican songs, they don't care. They dance on 1, 2, 3, 4, different timing. It's just a feeling that they actually grew up dancing and they dance. But the way I was taught, the way I actually learned how to dance is dancing on 1. And when most people dance on beat, they're dancing on 5. And you can dance on beat the whole song. There's no problem. But when there's a break in the song, and that doesn't look right.
Yeah. I see it all the time, man. It's interesting. You look over and you're like, what is going on?
He's dancing on beat. And you say, like, you're dancing on beat or you're dancing on count? And some people don't know, like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm dancing with the music. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
That's hilarious. We don't have maybe time for all the other questions, but there was so much value in what you were already talking about. I think anybody who's listening right now can walk away from this podcast understanding so much more of maybe another level of depth of what dance is, and like not only feeling and connecting, but like really piecing together a structure, almost like a pyramid, to base what dance is about, you know, and what they can do from here on out. From dancing, what have you learned that you have taken out off the dance floor with?
Probably my personality, though. Like I said, I know I'm goofy and I do a lot of freaking things. I make people laugh. That's one of my things. But in reality, I'm not that kind of person that I will go on the market and talk to someone like, hey, I have a friend that he goes and we go to the freaking elevator and 3 floors, and before we go out, he goes, okay, guys, I'll see you later, because he was talking to me. I'm not that person. I probably go in the corner and just like, if they don't see me, it's even better, right? Dancing makes me feel confident. I don't know. Like I said, when I go there, it makes me feel like another person. So that applies to my personal life, because I feel more confident. Even, I don't know, it's a way to share with people that they don't dance. Sometimes when they ask me, oh, what do you do for fun? Oh, I dance. And I show them some videos and they tell me like, oh, and they start to looking at you different though. So it helps, at least for me, to feel more confident, because it's something definitely that I didn't have before, probably. It's not like I was really bad at it, but it's something that I didn't have. And yeah, I will say that I feel better person. I don't know. It's easy for me now to talk to people that I don't know. It's better for me to approach some other people, because dance gave me so much confidence that now I will say that I'm not a new person, but I'm a better person, we'll say. Like a different person.
Any final comments, any final things you want to share? Lo que sea.
Chido, but thanks for having me. And like I said, bachata is so, and I've been offered to learn souk, kizomba. I like salsa, but I love bachata. And they were, oh, you're gonna dance souk and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna forget about bachata. Like, it's not gonna happen. For me, bachata is, I don't know, it's my escape. It's I don't know. It's something that I enjoy a lot. Like I said, if you want to learn for the wrong reasons, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you want to go and create friendships and you're looking for a girlfriend, don't do it. That comes over time. That probably along the time, you're going to be connecting with people, and then you connect in some different level with another person, and you're like, oh, should I have your number? Or something? Yeah, because it happens.
Yeah.
But it don't do it for that. That comes after. Yeah. So if you want to start dancing bachata, do it, and don't go looking for sex, looking for a girlfriend, looking for a boyfriend. Go there ready to meet friends, make new friends, meet a lot of new people, and trust people in a different level, because you're gonna be following or leading people, depending.
Right.
It doesn't matter the sex, so you can do both though. Yeah. But yeah, that will be my thing. I will close with that. So don't go and try to learn for the wrong reasons.
That's awesome. Very good. Yeah, very good ending advice there. Just to end it there, thank you, Jose. Muchísimas gracias por venir on this beautiful episode of the Why We Move podcast. Lots of good advice here. Lots of good things to take away. I appreciate you for not only just being like a great influence on the dance scene, but like just being a good person. I trust you like as one of the better leads here who's putting like a good example out there for all of us, both as a person and as a dancer. So thank you again.